Blessings and salutations, mystics of the coven. It's your girl Lily Moon, and it is officially May 4th. So, the first thing I want to say is May the 4th be with you. I am always going to take advantage of this day and use that pun whenever I possibly can. We are officially in Taurus season. We are officially out of the moon cycle of eclipse season completely. And while we had a little break of certain planets being out of retrograde, as of today, the 4th of May, Pluto is actually officially retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. So in this video, I'm going to be dropping some Astro tea, giving you the full Astro breakdown, and then we're going to ask the cards what they have to say about all of this and to us in general. So first things first, I feel like April was a very busy month, energetically speaking. Even if you don't feel like your actual schedule was busy, I do feel like, energetically speaking, for the collective, April was a busy month. We officially celebrated Venus entering Aries on the last day of April, which was also known as Witches' Night. May 1st was Beltane, the halfway point of the spring equinox and the summer solstice. Witches' Night is the halfway point to Samhain, aka All Hallows Eve. So, there's a lot of energy around, the portal is wide open, essentially, let's just say, for communication with the divine, our loved ones, and guides on the other side. But moving forward, May 4th, we are under the first quarter moon in Leo. So as of right now, the moon is officially in Leo. And we also had Pluto station retrograde officially in Aquarius as of today as well in the morning. Now, Pluto is stationing retrograde at the 3rd degree of Aquarius. Obviously, Pluto moves very slow, so this is not going to be our first rodeo of a Pluto retrograde with Aquarius. But it is going to be the first full one. So that will be very interesting. If you want to look at how that might affect you, you can go ahead and look at your house that is ruled by Aquarius. You don't necessarily have to have placements there to have a house that is ruled by Aquarius. Everybody has a house ruled by Aquarius, okay? And that is the house where Pluto currently is and is currently stationing retrograde. During a Pluto retrograde, things that might come to our mind is, is the life that I'm currently, living out right now actually fulfilling to me? Do I feel a sense of passion? Do I feel a sense of being alive through this life that I am currently living? Or do I want to switch things up? Do I feel like I need to, shed some more skin? Like I've outgrown the spaces I'm currently in, and maybe I feel even trapped a little bit. Okay, Pluto is all about power and control. Pluto is also about transformation, okay, and major rebirth, but that rebirth tends to come through the manifestation of destruction at times. But I like to call this destruction, this release that takes place during Pluto retrograde, as divine intervention, okay? Whatever Pluto is taking down, breaking down, is only setting a foundation for something better, okay? So again, look at the house that is ruled by Aquarius to better understand what is happening for you at this time. Pluto to me is also about the taboo things, the things that we keep in our closet, okay? The traits about ourselves, the thoughts about ourselves, maybe the goals we secretly have that we've never shared with other people, okay? These are all sort of, taboo things. Whatever is considered taboo is going to be a main focus. I do think because Pluto highlights power and control, especially control can manifest in different ways in everybody, okay? And if you are someone who, likes to know what is going to happen next at every moment of the day because that is what makes you feel safe, you probably deeply desire control, whether you want to agree to that or not. And you might not even realize you're doing it. So with Pluto retrograde, just, remember that this happens every year and it's nothing to freak out about, okay? And the things that don't go according to plan tend to be better than the plan we had originally in the first place, okay? And Pluto's retrograde is an opportunity for us to shed some skin, to release the things that we kind of have been trying to resuscitate and resurrect over and over again, even throughout eclipse season, okay? And still clinging on to it and wondering why things are still feeling stagnant, wondering why things aren't moving, wondering why our dreams feel dull, our communication with the divine feels dull. Well, honey, it was probably because you're holding on to something that don't got nothing to give to you, okay? So that starts as of May 4th, Pluto's retrograde, and Pluto will go retrograde until the 13th day of October. So that is a long period of time. That's just over 5 months. So Pluto's retrograde is a slow, steady process. As much as Aquarius is an air sign, fixed signs in general are definitely slower moving, I believe. And we can maybe have some more resistance in regards to what that planet is doing because it's in a fixed sign. So take your time through this rebirth, whatever it may be. Maybe some of you are shedding identities and roles that you thought you were going to play because other people gave them to you. And because it was something that was gifted to you, you took it on and accepted it as an agreement and totally disregarded your path, totally disregarded, you know, your destiny. And now you're coming back home to yourself, and you have to unlearn a lot of things to then relearn who you are so that you can come out on your side, you know, the brightest of the phoenixes, essentially. So yeah, I think that with Pluto retrograde in Aquarius though, we are likely going to see a lot of push and pull in the economy. I know there's been a lot of talk about the economy, you know, basically going into recession and all these jokes about recession indicators. Baby, I feel like the fact that we're talking about recession indicators is a recession indicator. And I feel like, you know, people are going to maybe become more standoffish, you know, and not be as open and responsive in an open setting as they usually are. I think that it's going to be tough, but you know, for a lot of people, these next, you know, 5 months, really and truly. But I think that as long as we remember that we are all here in this together, and our community loves us and will show up for us as we show up for them, and we can recognize who is in that community with us, you know, I believe that we, the mystics, and everybody else who we are surrounded by will be just fine. Everyone will have to do their part though. There cannot be no slacking, you guys. It's not going to be pretty. And I think that, yeah, a lot of pocket watching will happen during Pluto's retrograde in Aquarius. That's what I think is what's going to happen. Okay. Pluto retrograde is a good time to also do some deep diving on our ancestral roots, okay, and try to get closer to our ancestors or, you know, to our guides in a certain way, and try to understand where we are resisting the divine's directions and how that's creating more tension in our life than what is necessary and or than what is required. Okay, we can do that through divination, we can do that through meditation, we can do that through prayer. There are so many opportunities and ways to ask and receive this answer and question. Okay, so yeah, May is also a big month because we have also the full moon in Scorpio taking place. That happens on May 12th, okay, the full moon in Scorpio. And then 2 days after that happens, we have Saturn entering Aries. Saturn is entering Aries. Now, this is a pretty big deal, and although it's only for a few months because it's really tied to Saturn's, you know, retrograde cycle, we are still getting a taste of what we can expect in the year to come. When Saturn goes into Aries for its official long-term transit, that'll be on the 13th day of February in 2026. But for this month of May, from May 24th, okay, we will have Saturn in Aries. Now, Saturn will go retrograde at the first degree of Aries as of the 13th day of July. So that's still a little while from now. I know it seems like it's kind of far, but it's not really that far. And by the time that retrograde starts, Saturn will return back into Pisces as of the first day of September. Okay, so there will be this kind of rollback. Now, Saturn is the planet of time, right? Saturn is literally the Lord of time. And so when Saturn is in Aries, we're kind of getting a taste of the future and what the future timeline could manifest as, based on how things are currently going right now for everyone in the collective as a society. Okay, now again, Saturn goes retrograde July 13th, enters Pisces on September 1st, and then goes direct in the sign of Pisces as of November 27th. Okay, and that's at that point Saturn will be at the 25th degree of Pisces when he goes direct, and then from there all the way until February of next year, finally Saturn will be done with Pisces and entering Aries for its long-term transit. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for Saturn to get out of Pisces. As someone who has this placement, I cannot wait for it to be over. I am grateful for the lessons. I have learned the lessons very harshly and very thoroughly, and I'm grateful, but I'm ready for this ish to wrap it up. Okay, so Saturn in Aries for me, I am welcoming, and while that can also bring on its own ideas, let's talk about that. Saturn in Aries is all about structure, laws and regulations, and new laws and regulations being birthed. Aries is the first of the zodiac, so new laws and regulations are likely to come forward during this transit, okay? And we've already seen a pattern of this happening in waves throughout the globe, but it's definitely going to be cranked up more when Saturn enters Aries, okay? I do think that there is going to be a definitely tighter grip felt in terms of authoritative figures, unfortunately, and that's because of the Martian influence of the transit. Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting, you guys. I think we're going to see a different side of the masculine yang kind of energy, the animus energy that exists on this realm, and that can show up in different sort of ways. Now, I do believe there will be resistance throughout this transit as well, because when Saturn enters Aries, within a few weeks after that, Jupiter, who's currently in Gemini, will enter Cancer. And this is a really great transit because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, and we'll talk about that later on when it happens. But more importantly, when Jupiter enters Cancer, at some point in time in that transit, very early on in that transit, Jupiter and Saturn will create a square, okay? And anytime we have a Saturn-Jupiter square, we tend to feel delays in our plans, and we start to feel like progress doesn't feel so productive or progressive, okay? And with Saturn in Aries and Jupiter in Cancer, the energy, the zodiac of the mother, of the feminine, the yang, the anima energy on this realm, I think there's going to be a very interesting switch and maybe a bit of a clash between people. Again, community is really being divided is what it really feels like. It's a lot of individualism, a lot of, well, I think this and I think that, and me, and a lot of that talk about we and us suddenly just disappeared. Okay, so yeah, I think that people will be very emotional, honestly, during this transit, and will be surprised by how that comes up. But what I will say is this, mystics, if you are feeling sacred rage during this transit of Saturn in Aries, I'm going to invite you to release it and find a healthy way to do that. Because with Saturn in Aries, Saturn is all about restrictions, okay? Things that we are, hiding, cascading, or trying to keep at a distance, essentially. And that distance can also look like restricting and not actually expressing those emotions, those feelings at all. And what happens is, if we continue to swallow our anger, swallow our rage, and not release it in a healthy way, then it goes nowhere. And it just gets all bottled up and becomes carbonated. And then eventually, we pop off so strongly, our crown, the cap pops off, and now we out here, losing our minds, and possibly even losing, important things, resources that bring instability, okay, as a result. So it's very important that during this transit, if you are feeling tension, if you are feeling like there is a lack of progress in your efforts, do your best to try to release this rage or anger, impatience, whatever you want to call it, in a healthy way. It's very, very important for us to do that. I would recommend, trying out a new sort of wellness routine, whether that's swimming, walking, biking, cycle classes, Pilates classes, hot yoga classes. I feel like hot yoga actually would be perfect for Saturn and Aries, to be quite honest with you. But, finding a way to release it in a healthy way, okay? Very, very, very important. Now, what else is happening this month? Outside of that, like I said, we have the full moon in Scorpio happening on May 12th. And then we have Saturn entering Aries on May 24th. Now, the sun will enter Gemini on May 20th officially. So we are also entering Gemini season this month. We have a third quarter moon that same day in Aquarius. And technically this happens, the third quarter moon, before the sun enters Gemini, technically speaking, but because of the late degrees of the moon, and the sun being at the 0 degree basically of Gemini, there will be a trine between the sun and the moon. Well, not exactly, but it's going to be, it's not going to be as bad as we think as it is, okay? I feel like the tension between the sun and the moon won't be as bad during that timeline. Now, after Saturn enters Aries, the following day, we then have Mercury entering Gemini. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, we are officially entering Gemini season as of May 20th. So that third quarter moon at the last degree of Aquarius, technically we call it 0 degrees Pisces. The sun is basically at the 0 degrees of Gemini. So yes, there will be a square, but I do feel like it's going to feel very groovy, and super chill. I don't think we're gonna feel as a collective this tension, at least I'm hoping we don't, okay? And maybe that's because of Saturn finally coming out of Pisces, and now that intensity we were feeling in our emotions and all this overwhelmingness, of all this stuff just kind of being thrown at us, we can finally feel a bit more grounded. I feel like Saturn in Aries is going to help ground the collective a little bit and get a bit more of a reality check, okay? Because now that Piscean blurriness is starting to disappear. And when Mercury moves into Gemini, Mercury is ruled by both Gemini and Virgo. So when this takes place as of the 25th of May, we are now starting to pick up on information and probably want to try different things all at once, buying different books from different genres and trying to read all of them at the same time. Meanwhile, we already have a emotional support stack of books next to our bed already, okay? I'm just saying. So, it's gonna be a good time. I think there's gonna be a nice little shift in the collective. I know that everyone loves Taurus season, but I'm not gonna lie, y'all, this Taurus season has been quite dry. I have noticed some slight shifts, and I do recognize there is a deep transformation happening for myself personally, and I know a lot of people feel this too, but my goodness, I just have certain expectations, I guess, of Taurus season, and I just haven't been, feeling it. I really haven't been feeling it, but I've been staying grounded, staying very much rooted with the ancestors and spirit, and doing my best to show up for y'all as well. For those of you who came to the Witches Night Coven Sabbath, I really want to say thank you. I had a great time. We had some great conversations, and I can't wait for us to do it again. During the full moon in Scorpio, you guys, I will be out of town. I will be visiting my mother because that is the same weekend/week of Mother's Day, and I am surprising her with a certain special event and stuff. So I will be out of town, and I will not be doing a coven meeting for the full moon in Scorpio, but I'm thinking of maybe having one maybe the week before. I'm not really sure. We'll see. But I will be dropping a lot of special tea. You guys know I love the energy of Scorpio, of course. So we will be talking about all the delicious, things you can conjure up during that full moon, okay? I love a full moon in a water sign. I love it so much. I live for it. I love it. I love Scorpio moons. I love Scorpion energy. A Scorpio full moon just feels so delicious and amazing, and I just love it so much. So I'm really excited for that moon. I'm a little sad that I won't be home to do my whole big thing, but I could technically do something the day after that, but whatever. I think I'll figure something out. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that moon. I'm really looking forward to the energy of that moon. I think one of the best things that we could do as mystics is use that full moon to charge our divination tools, okay? Leave them outside to charge so that they can receive the moonlight. Okay, honey? Yes, and your crystals too. Your amethyst, all your crystals for protection, charge them under the full moon in Scorpio. That would be wonderful if you could do that. Okay, and so one of the last major things that happens this month is the new moon in Gemini. The new moon in Gemini happens at the 6th degree of Gemini, and it happens on May 26th at 11:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is 8:02 p.m. Pacific Time, okay? And I feel like with the new moon in Gemini, we've got Mercury in Gemini, we got the new moon in Gemini, we got the sun in Gemini. That is a nice trine already to work with because we have this instant plug for manifestation. That new moon in Gemini will be a wonderful new moon to work, honestly, any sort of petition, sort of magic, the rituals you have where you're writing out your petitions, okay, burning the petitions, maybe you keep them and you make sigils or whatever it may be, using your hands and your workings, okay, with the roots and the writing will be very important during that new moon. And because we have that stellium of the moon, sun, and Mercury all in Gemini very close together, that is a very, very special, delicious energy to work with for manifesting quick things our way. I believe that would be a really great new moon to actually work some road openers. Actually, I love doing road openers during Gemini lunations because I think of the idea of duality, okay, and both doors on both sides of the realms opening up to open those roads. So I would absolutely recommend that. At this time as well, we will still have Saturn newly in Aries, okay, and still direct. And so Saturn in Aries is at a very, very early degree. So the new moon being at the 6th degree is still pretty early enough to make a gentle sextile to Saturn, which means that the intentions we are planting under that new moon actually can, yes, come in pretty quickly, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to leave or not last long, okay? There is an influence of Saturn here that is taking place. The importance about this new moon is all about investments in self, okay? So as we are entering this Pluto retrograde right now and we are diving deeper into Taurus season, we have that full moon in Scorpio, so the Plutonian energy, the underworld and shadow work and peeling back the layers of ourself is a huge theme at this time. As we're going through that and as we are, cutting ties, whatever it may be, during that full moon and shedding the skin that we need to, we move into Gemini season and we sit and ask ourselves after this time has passed, what are the next things we are looking to create or receive that are investments for thyself that will help water and nurture thyself in this new form, okay? And hopefully those answers will come to us during the new moon in the weeks beyond, okay? So that is what we have for May. I'm gonna get into the cards now, starting with the Aries placements, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Stelliums. Okay, let's see what we've got for the Aries. Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. Aries, I feel like for you guys right now, you know, we still have Mars in Leo, and Mars will be in Leo until middle of June. So Aries, this is a pretty big month for you though, because with your planet in a fire element, and then we have Saturn, the planet of structure, boundaries, isolation, okay, and you know, sharpening things up, including our procrastination if it exists, is entering your sign, which means there is also this major shift of long-term goals that you thought were going to play out a certain way are changing as well, okay? And this can be an initiation of sorts. Now, with that being said, it can take some getting used to, and it can be overwhelming. I know, you know, having a placement where Saturn entered really shook my world. So Aries, take your time adjusting to this new energy. With Saturn being at the late degree of Pisces, as it has been right now, I wouldn't be surprised if you, you know, have been feeling these themes for a while, okay? I wouldn't be surprised by that. So Aries, we have for you from the cards today, we have the Three of Baskets, the Daughter of Coins, and the Father of Baskets. So Aries, this is going to be a very interesting month because there's going to be a lot of conversations that are very intimate and could have you worked up emotionally, could have you having to face certain emotions you didn't think about for a long time, okay? People who you're close to, your friends, loved ones, maybe a past lover is coming through in a conversation, and it's a really important conversation. It's a heavy conversation, but it is one that needs to happen because it is heavily tied to your actual healing journey. For the oracle cards I pulled for you, Aries, we have the supermoon saying emotions are high, and then we have the waning moon asking you, what do you need to release? So Aries, this month ahead is all about release and healing, replenishing yourself, okay, pouring back into yourself, extending grace for yourself as well. The last two cards we have for you, Aries, are the Daughter of Sticks and the Father of Baskets. So what I'm hearing from the divine, Aries, is to have the courage to speak up, have the courage to also express how you felt and what your experience was like. It's okay to, you know, expect to have to apologize and what have you, but once the other person, the other people involved with the situation have expressed themselves to you and you have remained open in that, it's very important that you also allow yourself to get what you need to off your chest, okay, Aries? I feel like actually you're the one who's owed an apology, but Spirit's also reminding you with this Father of Baskets card to not get worked up. Don't let the vampires in, okay? The leeches can only react based off of the information and energy and attention you give them. So it's very important, Aries, that you don't give them, you know, all of your energy. Stand your ground, okay? Honor your boundaries. Don't let anybody walk all over you or talk to you crazy, okay, obviously, and you know, let yourself be heard. It's time to release this pain. You've been carrying this for quite some time on your heart space, and it's been clogging up all the stuff, you know, it's been clogging up the roads, okay, honey? It's time to release it. And maybe that is something you can include for the full moon in Scorpio moon, okay, happening on May 12th. That would be a beautiful time to take the time to release all those things and forgive yourself as well for even, you know, tolerating that, okay? Okay, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Risings, and also stelliums. Stelliums including planets that are personal, that we have, okay, including Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Sun, and Moon, okay? Okay, so Tauruses, we are still currently in your season, and Venus is now in Aries, and will not enter your sign actually for a good while, you know. So Venus won't be entering your sign until next month. So we'll talk about that when that happens. But you know, as Venus has returned back into Aries, this can feel like the retrograde themes and conversations, and even the people kind of returning again as well, Taurus, okay? So it's really important that you mind yours and allow yourself to, you know, remain focused on the things that truly matter. I'm trying to grab another oracle card for you. Okay, perfect. So here we go, Taurus. We have the Garden here. We actually have two major arcana cards for you. We have the Garden, we have Miss Robinson, and then we have the Seven of Coins. So Taurus, the first thing I'm going to talk about is Miss Robinson, okay? Miss Robinson, this is the card of the devil in this tarot, and this card comes up when we are either taking on too much, we doing too much, you know, we try to do this, we try and do that, we try to serve two masters, we try to play both sides, you know, we try to play hickey, essentially, and we getting caught up in some mess. It can also be a sign that we need to detox and purge from things that are extremely toxic to us and distracting to us and delay our blessings, okay? That is what this card is about, Taurus. So under the full moon that is happening in your sister sign this month, it would be a really great time for you to maybe set the intention to do exactly that, to have a detox, okay? Maybe that is physical and spiritual, okay? So that you can purge all of the things that are, you know, trying to cling to you and trying to eat your energy, your insides, you know, whatever it may be. Purge, purge, purge. This is very, very, very important, Taurus. Yes, it's nice for you to indulge, but don't get carried away, honey. Okay, don't be out here getting carried away. Now, Taurus, with the Guardian card and with the Seven of Coins, these two cards to me are connected with the same message, okay? Which is to have patience. You are putting so much pressure on yourself to have this certain project, idea, plan, whatever it may be, offering to be done at a speed that is not realistic, okay? You know when something is done baking. Don't try to cut corners now, Taurus, okay? Have the patience. Your hard work is paying off. The Seven of Coins is steady abundance, very steady abundance. Consistency is paying off. The garden is literally flourishing, okay? But what you need to be focusing on instead is detoxing from the nonsense that is getting in the way of that, okay? Now from the Oracle, Taurus, we have take time to breathe out. Okay, so take a break, Taurus. Do not burn yourself out. And then when your blessings are ripened, you don't have the energy to catch them, okay? Take some time to breathe out. Have a little self-care day. It's still your season. Your garden is doing just fine. You don't have to hover over it and block the sun all the time to make sure no one gets to it, okay? It's doing just fine. take some time to rest. Taurus, the other card we have for you is the New Moon in Cancer, saying you and your loved ones are safe. So Taurus, if you recently have been, you know, setting intentions, saying prayers for other people in your life, just know that those intentions have been received by the divine and they're taking care of it, okay? That's what I consider that a sign of. But also it's about your ancestors too, okay? And just know that they want you to know that they are always there for you to reach out, and you are not carrying this destiny all on your own, okay? They are there helping you carry it. You are standing on their shoulders, okay, Taurus? So please let your people in, detox from that nasty ish, and remain patient with your blessings. They are blooming in perfect divine timing. All is well, okay? Okay, Gemini. Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising. Ooh, child. Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Stellium. The Sun will enter your sign as of this month, which is really exciting. I'm really excited for Gemini season this year. I don't know why. Like I said, Taurus season hasn't really been giving what your girl's been expecting it to give. And I'm really looking forward to Gemini season as someone who is someone who is a double air sign. I am looking forward to that trine, honey, to activate in my chart so that I can get my ish together and feel like, you know, this wasn't a whole wasted year. But Geminis, I am excited for you for this month ahead. Now, the cards are looking very interesting, actually. I'm gonna take my time with these cards. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Okay, Gemini, so you got more cards than everybody else, but let's get into it. So first of all, I'm seeing a pattern of the number 6 and 3, 6363. That is what we have here as a pattern. The first card we have, Gemini, is the 6 of baskets, okay? And this card is all about our spirit guides communicating us putting out offerings, us creating the portal for them to communicate. You might notice more synchronicities this month, okay, in regards to them communicating with you, trying to reach out to you. But it's also about connecting with people who have like-minded spirits to you as well. Not necessarily in a romantic way, but definitely in a ethereal way, okay? And that is really exciting. So look out for that as well to take place. Now, Gemini, the following card we have for you is the 3 of Knives, okay? And this card comes up when we are experiencing disappointment, when something doesn't necessarily go exactly as planned, and maybe we even kind of started the unraveling of said situation. But there is nothing to worry about, Gemini, because you are someone who can adapt very quickly to situations, and that resiliency is going to show very much during this month ahead, because then we have the 6 of Wands followed by the 3 of Coins. So it's almost like this 3 of Knives moment was actually divine intervention, okay? So it might look like rejection, Gemini, but just know it is divine intervention, a redirection that is bringing forward new abundance, new opportunities, new contracts, new ideas and things that are more in alignment with who you are and who you are becoming, okay? Now, Gemini, with your oracle, we have the blue moon saying believe in the impossible, and then we have the full moon in eclipse saying conclusions are within reach. So Gemini, this is going to be a really interesting month for you. There's definitely a heightened communication for sure with your spirit team. The fact that we have this card, conclusions are within reach, showing up along with the 6 of baskets, lets me know that there is definitely going to be a lot of active activity in conversation. So Gemini, although you're not a water sign, you're not an earth sign, fine, whatever, I do think that the full moon in Scorpio will serve you very well and allow you to, receive a lot of insight, especially insight with getting through this situation that could maybe bring you down a little bit, because it does feel like rejection, but I promise you, Gemini, it is a redirection. There is a lot to celebrate. Keep practicing your gratitude, keep remaining open for new opportunities, because they will make their way to you regardless, okay? Believe in the impossible, Gemini. Your spirit team really wants you to up your faith a little bit. It's almost like you forget the divine that you serve. It's almost like you forget the whole reason you're tapped into this in the first place. You forget the source. You forgot the creator. You forgot the power. You forgot the power within yourself. You forgot the power within your own divine court, okay? You are an extension of the divine's creation, okay? And that is a blessing in itself. And with that in mind, you can accomplish amazing things. You can accomplish the impossible. A lot of things can turn around in 3 days' time, okay? So Gemini, keep your head up. Trust and believe that if you are praying for clarity, you are praying for exposure and understanding of certain situations, you're gonna get that tea, okay? And it's gonna be very, very hot. Okay, Gemini, pay attention to the signs. Don't be acting all willy-nilly. Okay, stay grounded, stay true, stay you. And happy early birthday, baby. I will see you in Gemini season. Okay, Cancers. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. There is a very interesting moon happening this month, and it is happening in a water sign. So Cancers, this could be a good month for you in terms of prosperity and abundance and increase. Okay, if things were feeling rigid before, certain areas of your life felt like they were dry or had some sort of obstacles, just know, Cancer, that that is going to disappear, or at very least melt away in the month ahead. Okay, Cancer, we are going to have a outer planet, which is Saturn, enter a cardinal sign, and that cardinal sign is Aries. And so Cancer, when Saturn enters Aries, there could be some tension that you feel yourself as a cardinal being. Okay, so just take your time and leave space and extra time for morning routines and appointments and things of that nature, because there could possibly be some delays that you are not planning for, and they can be very annoying. I totally get it, but just try your best to have some patience, okay? Cancer, let's get into it. So the first card we have for you is the 5 of Sticks. So yeah, this to me is about the delays and things that might take place. But don't let this get your head down, Cancer, okay? Just take your time, okay, through these situations. We do have the grandchildren card showing up in this reading for you. And this is the card of the Star, which is reminding you to remember the anointing over your life, okay? And one silly little obstacle, so a few little delays here and there, does not redirect how your blessings show up, okay? Trust and believe that your things are still going to find you. As I'm saying this, Cancer, it is currently 5:55 on the clock, honey, okay? So yes, this is a very prosperous time for you, regardless of the potential or minor obstacles. In fact, I feel like, Cancer, you making a big deal out of the obstacles is what's going to make it a bigger obstacle, okay? So do your best to chill the F out and let the divine handle it. Let your spirit team handle it, okay? I feel like this card, as the Star card, is also a reminder that your honorable ancestors are always with you, okay? I love that it's supposed to be the grandchild with the grandparent. I think that's very, very beautiful. And so it's just a reminder that, like, hey, we got you, okay? And we are always here for you. Cancer, we also have for you the Daughter of Coins, as well as Dr. Grant. This is a major arcana card. This is the Hermit card in this deck. The Daughter of Coins is about consistency, And it's also about, you know, sharing our wealth with others, and having the time to express our gratitude by being of service to other people, being of service to the divine in different ways, okay? And knowing that by giving back in that way, we are also paying ourselves forward. This is also about expressing the gratitude we have for the people in our lives who are in service to us, who are supportive of us as well, okay? And I love this card that is representing that energy. Now, with the Hermit card, I feel like Cancers, y'all are naturally hermits and homebodies, of course. So I will say this, I do think this is more so about having strong boundaries. And if something bothers you, to speak up and not just ignore it, roll your eyes, be disgruntled, and then have to readjust yourself for somebody else's nonsense, okay? We don't have to be doing that. That is some nonsense. You did not, reincarnate to deal with that nonsense. So just remember to say no, and remember that no is a full sentence. You don't have to do anything more than simply say no, okay? Now, Cancer, we have the new moon card of the Oracle showing up saying a new start is coming. And then we also have the new moon in Libra card showing up saying a new romantic cycle begins. So 2 new moon cards are showing up. So Cancer, if you have been calling in romance, okay, new friends, new like-minded people to connect with, just know that that opportunity is possible in this month ahead. But if you are single, Cancers, and have been trying to call in more love, and you've been doing some sweetening baths or what have you, then this is a sign, honey. And everybody deserves a little love. So Cancers, I hope that that comes true for you if that is something you are desiring, okay? Moving forward with our Leos. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Stelliums. Leos, I'm not really sure how you are enjoying this Taurus season. But based on these cards, honey, it's giving exhausted. I'm not gonna lie to you, Leos. It's giving exhausted. And honestly, Leos, I get it. You know, we've got Pluto in Aquarius. We've got the Sun in Taurus. We have Mars in your sign in Leo. And so, you know, and then now we have a full moon in Scorpio coming up. So yes, Leos, I know that you're probably energetically exhausted. I know that you're probably feeling a lot of tension right now. And probably pretty much over a lot of things. I do believe that May is going to be a month of a lot of tests of your faith and tests of your patience with self, but especially tests of your faith. I do think that this month is going to be a huge test, also about your faith and devotion to yourself to accomplish and finish the things you said you were going to do. And I'm saying that because of the fact that Saturn is entering Aries this month, and there will be at some point during this transit a potentially a trine that you experience within your own birth chart during that time. And so the themes that this transit of Saturn and Aries is here to teach you can sort of show up now, despite that trine not being activated just yet. Okay, so Leos, we have for you, the first card is a major arcana card showing as John Horse. This is the Chariot in this tarot deck. And when the Chariot is showing up, like I was saying, major spiritual test, okay? So Leos, you must surrender to the process, okay? You must allow yourself to completely surrender to the process. You can only be in control for so much. Earlier, Leo, I was going on a kind of a bit of a rant about Pluto and Aquarius and how this retrograde can show up in certain ways for us. And Leos, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like because that retrograde is taking place in your sister sign, okay, sitting opposite of your placements, there is some tension that you are being felt, and you are maybe even digging your heels and rejecting the directions from the divine. And so now you're trying to gain back control in this whole other way and making things more complicated than they need to be. So surrender to the process. If you feel like, Leo, this month things are becoming too rigid and just a lot to handle, drop the bags for a second. Put down the baggage for a second and ask yourself, why am I carrying all this? Why am I carrying all this? What is this baggage gonna help me with in my travels? How is this baggage gonna help me in my travels? Why am I carrying this, okay? We have the Two of Swords showing up. So Leo, you could have a tough decision, on your mind, and this has you kind of stuck in this overanalyzation and maybe even feeling paralyzed by your thoughts. You're so distracted, you can't even focus. You're kind of like in quicksand at the crossroads because you just can't come up with an idea, with a decision. And this develops as the Seven of Swords, the Seven of Knives. So Leo, be very mindful of doing things and reacting to things and responding to people and whatever it may be at a quick rate, just so that you can go back to your peace and quiet, or just so that you can go back to whatever it is that you actually want to do, okay? Because if you are responding to things, reacting to things prematurely, there is a domino effect of self-destruction kind of taking place here. The Seven of Knives is very tricky, and it shows up when people and things around us ain't what they say they are. So Leo, if your decision that has you so distracted and so just overthinking and all over the place has to do with a person, okay, a connection or whatever, just know that this motherfucker is not who they say they are, okay? The Seven of Swords is very tricky, very sneaky, okay? Very, very, very sneaky. Now, with that being said, Leos, we do have the full moon in Libra card showing up saying that a win-win outcome is forecast. And then we also have the balsamic moon card saying a time for healing. So Leos, I believe that the divine scales will be balanced and all is well. You ain't gotta lift a damn finger, okay? Just keep doing what you're doing. Let the divine handle it. You've been trying to do a lot of things and it's just actually exhausting more of your energy and could have you running into a situation that you really could have avoided. So Leos, just chill out. As this card recommends, a time for healing. Take your time releasing this person. Take your time reflecting on how betrayal maybe might have taken place in that connection. Take your time mourning your connection. Take your time mourning the past. Take your time, unpacking how you may have ignored your own intuition, for someone's good character that was actually a lie, okay? That's a lot to deal with. It's not easy. And it can also taint the way you start to look at things, okay? And create this pattern of lack and paranoia within you. So it's very important that we take the time to, release that. And know that it can take time, okay? Just know that it can take time. Okay, moving on to Virgos. Virgo, sun, moon, rising, and stelliums. I hope you guys are having a wonderful time. It looks like we're gonna have a very interesting conversation today. Virgos, we are currently in Taurus season, so hopefully the element of earth that has been blooming through this last couple of days, or last few weeks, couple of weeks I should say, have been good to you. I know that y'all can thrive during this particular season, and so that is what I wish for you truthfully, Virgos. Now, Virgos, let's talk about what we have for you in this month ahead. We have, first and foremost, we have the Mother of Baskets. So Virgos, this month ahead, you are going to have a lot of prophetic dreams, a lot of vivid dreams, lots of synchronicities, okay? Possibly some visitations from your divine court a lot in your dreams. If that's something that you experience. Virgos, your intuition is very strong. It's very much heightened. It's very, 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 very heightened. So focus and pay attention to the signs. If your intuition feels like something is off and you can't figure out what it is, it doesn't matter. That feeling that something is off is usually right, okay? This is not the time to be second guessing yourself or doubting yourself, okay? You are going to be reminded this month why you are the top of the zodiac when it comes to discernment, okay? Discernment is very, very, very important. Virgos, this card we have follows with two major arcana cards. The first one is Gullah Jack, and the next one is Dr. Buzzard. So this one is the Hanged Man, and this one is the Justice card. So Virgos, there is this call to remain still, okay? It feels like the divine is handling something for you and doesn't really want you getting carried away or getting caught up in the crossfire. So Virgos, do what you do best this month, which is mind your business, okay? And take your time to relax. The Hangman card showing up is a sign of possibly overworking yourself, and now Spirit could even be not necessarily creating blockages per se, but creating enough distraction and tension for you to have to slow down, okay? Whether that's in your body or in your schedule or somewhere else, it is likely going to happen, okay? Sit back and relax. And trust that your intuition is going to show you exactly what you need to see, and that whatever it is, the divine is going to handle it. Virgos, you're going to be reminded this month about your boundaries, okay? And why it's important for you to have strong boundaries, enforce your boundaries, and see people for who they are. When someone shows you who they are the first time, believe them. I feel like that's going to be a really important message for you this month. For your oracle cards, Virgos, we have the waning moon saying, what do you need to release? And then we have the full moon in Gemini saying, the answers you need are coming. The answers you need are coming. Virgos, honey, listen, the answers you need are coming. And the Mother of Baskets card, yeah, you're about to get whatever it is you've been looking for, whatever confirmation, whatever clarification, people telling on themselves, whatever it may be. This could happen during the full moon in Scorpio week, okay? I would not be surprised if you receive you get some sort of messy text message or DM or whatever it might be, okay, honey? But just know that the clarity is coming, and it cannot be denied. When someone shows you who they are, Virgos, the first time, believe them. Stop trying to save people. You can only bring the horse to the stream. You cannot force that horse to drink the water. Okay, Virgo, translation, save yourself. Okay, boundaries bring blessings. People that want to play with you will always play with your time and will always play with your energy. You are too expensive, too gorgeous, too divine, too ethereal to deal with any of that nonsense, Virgo. So it's time to move on. It's time to check out. And it's time to check in with your intuition. Okay, boom. Libras, sun, moon, risings. Libras, sun, moon, risings, and stelliums. Libras, this month we have Saturn, the planet of longevity, stability, rules and regulations and restrictions and boundaries, okay, entering your sister sign of Aries. And this can feel probably pretty intense for you, Libra placements, if your placements in Libra are at the very, very, very early degrees from like 0 to 5, okay? If your Libra placements aren't that early on in the Libra sign, then you might not feel that opposition per se, but it is going to still be there underneath everything else that's going on. So Libras, you may feel some restrictions this month in maybe the way that you're expressing yourself, and maybe not wanting to put yourself out there for your plans, your desires, whatever it is you're cooking up, okay? And that's not a way to be. So it's really important, Libras, that you work through any fears you might have, any doubts you might have, and allow Saturn to teach you whatever Saturn wants to teach you. Libras, we do have the Sun ruled currently by Venus, who is still in Pisces. So, you know, that has been hopefully serving you in some sort of way. And yeah, I think that you're probably gonna feel better though once we enter Gemini season, because then the Sun will be ruled by the element of air, which is your element, and that's always a more fun, you know, situation. Okay, so Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Stelliums. The first card we have for you is the Son of Baskets. So Libras, you're asking for answers and things that you already know the answer to, and your divine court's kind of tired of your nonsense, okay? They want you to be more open. They want you to ask for the things that you actually want. And remember that not everybody's as psychic as you are, Libra, so you need to start speaking up for what you actually want. Say what's on your heart, say what's on your mind, and trust that those who are on the receiving end will be open to actually receiving it. Libras, we also have for you this month ahead the Son of Coins. So you have the two suns here. So one, there is more grace you need to extend to yourself, and take your time as you're in probably the space of healing still, Libra. I feel like this past eclipse season, you know, you just had a full moon in your own sign and all these other things going on, Venus retrograde, whatever. There are still a lot of things that are probably being digested, okay? So take your time doing that. The Son of Coins could be regarding a idea, an intention you've planted recently, and maybe it's not so recent. You're kind of looking for that situation to pick up, to bring in some more abundance, success, expansion, some sort of way. Spirit is reminding you, Libra, to be patient and know that it is coming, okay? Then we have the Two of Baskets. So Libra, there is this interesting energy of reconciliation, reconnection, okay? Someone who is very dear to your heart reaching out to you, or you reaching out to them and having a good time. The Two of Baskets is usually seen as a romantic card though, obviously. So Libras, if you have been calling in healing of your heart, and being able to be a host again for love in that sort of romantic way, then just know that's in the cards for you as well. Now, we do have two cards for you from the Oracle. We have the full moon in Leo saying, don't let pride get in the way. And then we also have a personal issue reaches resolution. So Libras, this month is about you being honest about how you feel, being honest about how you feel about situations, being honest about how you feel about certain people in your life, and not having them stick around just so that you can feel better about yourself. That's not cute. It's actually very toxic and super gross. So please work on that, and know that by communicating how you feel with others, you are releasing the tension and making space for the abundance and the things that are really meant for you. Okay, Libra, so this month is really about emotional maturity, and not letting your inner child take the wheel, child. Okay, Libras, let's get it together. Okay, thank you. Okay, Scorpio Sun, Scorpio moons, Scorpio risings, hello my dears. Scorpio stelliums, hello my dears. We have a full moon in your sign this month ahead, and I am very, 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 very excited for that full moon. Scorpios, we have Pluto currently retrograde in Aquarius, okay? So Scorpios, there is also, of course, for you a level of intimate transformation or rebirth that is possibly happening. And I feel like Scorpios, for you, it could be a rebirth about how you are really seeing yourself and how you are kind of relearning who you are. And this could be because Pluto, which is your modern planet ruler, is currently retrograde, and you also have your traditional ruler of Mars in the sign of Leo, okay, which is where the idea of the self is being redirected into something new. Now, from the cards, Scorpio, we have the 10 of baskets, okay? So there is a lot of feel-good energy this month. I feel like this full moon is going to be a moment to really, congratulate yourself, give yourself some flowers, recognize how you have been working really hard and your hard work is paying off, and it's time for you to actually recognize how you have come so far and to give yourself more credit in regards to that, Scorpios. We have the 7 of Sticks as well, and this to me is about protection, divine protection, but also again the hard work, okay? Really celebrating the hard work you're putting in. Scorpios, do some protective charms for yourself during the full moon, as well as magnetic and attraction stuff as well. Scorpios, we have the Ace of Knives here, so there is also a new idea, some new intentions, some new mantras, some new perspectives brewing within you, and that could be because of the rebirth that you are going through, okay, and has you moving in a new direction, has you moving with some more pep in your step, okay? Scorpios, from the Oracle, we have for you the new moon in Pisces showing up as meditate and contemplate. So Scorpios, take some time, seriously, take a lot of time this month to do that, to dig a little deeper, to go deeper with your people, go deeper with your divine court, and ground those new ideas, those new intentions, those new divine downloads that are coming in. The next card we have is Surrender to the Divine, and it is the full moon card, which I think is so perfect for you this month, Scorpios, with the fact that the full moon is happening in your sign anyway. So Scorpios, you have a really great month ahead coming in. And I feel like there's a really big blessing that is about to burst through the veil, and Spirit wants you to get really grounded and prepared for that blessing, honey. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And as you are being reborn for the 1000th time, Scorpio, and you're shedding all this skin, remember that the divine always has your back, okay, Scorpio? So there is no reason for you to be looking over your shoulder every 2 seconds, being all paranoid, concerned all the time about evil eye and monitoring spirits and a bunch of other nonsense. No. How about you monitor these blessings, baby? How about you let the other folks, okay, do what they want to do, and trust that whatever they are doing, whatever weapons they are trying to form, will never prosper, because the spirit that you serve, the divine that you serve, okay, the honorable ancestors that you honor are not something to play with, honey, and they don't play about you. So it's time for you to recognize that and relax a little bit, okay, Scorpios? Okay. Moving on to Sagittarius. Sun, moon, and rising. Interesting. We just pulled this card. Let me ask for a clarifier regarding to this card. Oh, ciao. Okay. Sagittarius, you have some really beautiful things that are developing in your life at this time, okay? You are about to hit a major milestone, it appears, and it is a milestone that you have been wanting to hit for a long time. And I just want to take a moment, Sagittarius, to say congratulations to you, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Stelliums, because this is a really big deal and you should be really proud of yourself. Now, Sagittarius, it's really strange though, because you are usually the one who is super, you know, super positive and optimistic and trusting of things working out for you and things working, you know, always in your favor and always in alignment. And it seems like with this month ahead, you maybe are getting very excited about certain opportunities and things that are blooming, especially this milestone, and you don't want anything wrong to happen to it or to go wrong with it. So you're trying to take control, okay, and have things go a certain way that you believe is the best way. But what you're actually doing, Sagittarius, is actually trying to force a situation that is not natural and that is not what was meant to take place. And so while, yes, the magic could be hidden and the things could pop off, it could also create more delays and block things from, you know, blooming in the way that they were meant to. So the first card we have is the Four of Sticks, which to me is about the milestone I was referring to. So something big is coming up. Maybe it's an anniversary, someone's birthday, I don't know. Whatever it is though, Sagittarius, you are going to hit this milestone. And this milestone is a big deal. And we have the Big Mama card, okay, the Sun card here to say like, hey, this is a big thing, okay? And it's 111 on the recording right now as I'm saying this to you, Sagittarius. So this is a big thing. So yes, big up yourself. Be proud, be proud, be proud. But with that being said, be proud and celebrate, but leave the energy in the energy of gratitude. Don't be out here making nonsense and looking crazy, okay? We have the Seven of Sticks here, which has showed up the last time for the last zodiac sign. And so I asked Spirit for a clarity card for this card, and we received the Ten of Knives and the Son of Knives. So Sagittarius, watch that tongue of yours. Be mindful of what you are saying and around who you're saying it, okay? The Son of Knives is about someone who is always quick to respond, someone who's very brilliant and has a genius way of looking at things, but that can get them caught in some bullshit that could have been avoided. The Ten of Swords is literally self-destruction and causing chaos where none of it was really there. So Sagittarius, stay in the energy of gratitude this month, and if someone is trying to go low with you, please let them choke on their own spit and don't pay them not a goddamn penny, not a single second, okay? Because they trying to play with you. They see you coming up, they see you hitting milestones, and then they trying to drag you down, and that's not cute. No, leave it alone, okay? Do not force things. The thing that is about to happen, the thing that is so close to happening, it's going to happen. Just be patient. Don't force. Don't cut no corners, because it could cost you, Sagittarius. And I feel like with Saturn slowly entering Aries this month, okay, as it's going to, maybe Sagittarius, you have some late degrees in your sign, and the fact that Saturn is at the late degrees right now of Pisces is really gonna hit you. Maybe that's why these cards are coming up, I don't know. But stop playing around, okay? You're gonna fuck around and find out. Now, we have for you in the Oracle, we have the Hold Your Vision card as the fixed sign card. And then we also have the third quarter moon card as well, saying adjustments are required. So yes, Sagittarius says, please make sure that you remember why you started, okay? And remember the beautiful organic vision that you have. And remember that it has taken you this far, okay? So therefore, the plan is working. It's doing the thing as it's meant to, okay? It's taking you this far. Have trust in that knowing and in all of this progress you've made, okay? make some adjustments by not forcing things, not pushing things so hard, okay? Not forcing people into situations that you know and clearly can see they don't want to be in, okay? If they've told you no, it's no. And if they've told you no in a weird way and you got you questioning if they said no, it's a no, okay? It's time to get with the things that are easily in front of you. You don't have to force anything, okay? Remember how far you've come, Sagittarius. Make the adjustments by letting go, adjusting your grip a little bit so that your blessings can breathe and so that you can breathe, honey, okay? Thank you. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising, and stelliums. Hello, Capricorn. I know I was just going on a long rant about Saturn, but your ruling planet is moving into a new sign this month, and it is a cardinal sign, just like you, Capricorn. But this time when Saturn moves into this planet, into the sign, it is going to create some tension for you. So Capricorns, I hope you are taking your time with this energy, not letting anybody play with you, okay? And enforce your boundaries where you see fit. And if you feel like you need to do some protective work, by all means, tap into that as well. This energy can take some time to get used to and adjusting to, but just know it is temporary, and it is giving us a sneak peek of what we can expect in the following year. So pay attention to that, Capricorn, because these lessons that we are about to integrate at this time can help us in the future, okay? Capricorn, with the sun currently in Taurus, the sun is making a trine to your placements in your sign because of that element of earth. So I hope you are using that to your advantage, whether it was under the new moon or during these transits we've got going on right now. There is so much stuff to still tap into. Capricorn, I feel like you're coming out of a long haze, you know? It's almost like you've been on this trip to Wonderland and you're finally breaking out of it, and the spell is wearing off. Let me show you these cards we've got for you. The first card we have is the Father of Knives, okay? So this is the element of air. So this is all about focus, no distractions, cutting out the distractions, being very, not forceful with your boundaries, but being very strong in them, okay? And speaking up for yourself, and you know, if it's no, it's no. Calling the shots, not being afraid to do so, but it's really about focus and discipline, which usually you don't have a problem with. So I feel like it's just your reminder to lock in, okay, Capricorn? We also have the Son of Coins showing up too here, which is about locking in on those projects and things that you've got going on that are still under construction, okay? The things that are not necessarily as far along as other projects, okay? And so they require more of your attention at this time. This is probably the thing that Spirit wants you to lock in about. It's okay that you're taking your time, Capricorn, with this thing. Like that's like probably a good thing, honestly. But just know that with the more consistency you have and focus on in this particular area, the more you will see that movement. And we actually see the 3 of 6 showing up, which is the element of fire. So Capricorn, your hard work is paying off this month. And if you remain this month focused and locked in, you will see a lot of positive shifts taking place, I believe, towards the end of the month, going into the new month as well. We have for you, Capricorn, the waxing moon, saying the energy is gaining momentum. So yes, I agree with this. The energy is gaining momentum. This is a month of hard work, rolling up your sleeves, and then the month after that, you're going to receive all of the flowers and fruits of your labor, okay? The energy is gaining momentum, so keep going, okay? Create a nice hustle, playlist for yourself to keep you in the mood. And also know that this month, like I said earlier, you are kind of breaking out of this like foggy haze this month. So don't be surprised if you receive some new information about old situations that either you forgot about, haven't thought about in a long time, or they simply just, were in the back of your mind, and you kind of just told yourself, well, you're never going to know. Well, guess what? This could be the time where you find out and you learn what actually is the truth, okay? Someone maybe who lied to you, some situation that was, very adamant about its information and facts, and now those facts are changing, okay? But yeah, just know that whatever questions, delays you might have, Capricorn, just know that they are coming, honey. The answers are coming, okay? So stay focused and trust that the stuff that you are working on, and the intention and focus and discipline and devotion you give to those things, Capricorn, are going to pay off, okay? They are indeed going to pay off, okay? Boom. Okay, Aquarius. Aquarius sun, moon, and rising, and stelliums. Aquarius sun, moon, risings, and stelliums. Okay, Aquarius, let's see what's going on here. Aquarius, we have Pluto retrograde taking place in your sign as of today, and will continue until the 13th of October, aka Lovely Moon's birthday, aka Libra season, honey. Okay, and when we enter Libra season, we are slowly going to move out of that season and into Scorpio season. So the energy of shadow work and that theme is still going to be very high and very strong. And so Aquarius, you are going to be in a very interesting space of your own, okay, I believe, over these next few months. You probably have some plans to have a great summer, and I hope that you do, Aquarius. But I do believe there's going to be a lot of internal and inward shadow work going on, creating a sanctuary out of your solitude so that you can focus and clean up whatever messes you need to clean up during this Pluto retrograde. I'm hearing that it's time to clear out the bones in your closet, okay? Now, Aquarius, one of your ruling planets, which is Saturn, is entering a new sign this month. So that could bring in some new changes as well and structure in a good way. So take advantage of that energy, okay? Now let's get into this. The first card we have is the Eight of Knives. So Aquarius, I feel like there is a lot of tension that you're feeling. The sun is in Taurus. We have a full moon in Scorpio coming up at the very soon, so and we also have Mars and Leo sitting opposite of your placements. So yeah, I'm sure there's definitely some tension that you're feeling, which could have you feeling like you've got your back against the wall and things just aren't really working out for you, or almost like as though you put out one fire, a new one shows up, you put out that fire, two more show up, and it's just becoming a lot. Aquarius, a really great antidote for this are spiritual baths, okay? Not sweetening baths, but just do some simple white baths, do one a week, and then do a sweetening bath after that, if you want to, but do those baths once a week, and burn a reversal candle the same day during those rituals so that you can clear and purge out whatever is trying to stick to you, honey, return to sender. And don't try to make so many changes all at once, Aquarius. Take your time with whatever transformation and discomfort you're sitting with. You've got to move through it to heal it, okay? You can't get around it. Aquarius, we have for you as well the Chariot card showing up as the John Horse, which this card has been showing up a lot for the collective lately. So Aquarius, you're also being reminded this month that divine intervention will always take place before anything else, okay? And the divine is what guides your steps. So don't feel like you are carrying so much stuff. It's actually easier, and you'll probably see less tension and less nonsense taking place if you started to release and started to surrender and trust the divine's guidance that they've been giving you, okay? It's time to step into that obedience. Aquarius, we also have the Guardian card showing up for you. Okay, so there are also some endings and closures taking place as well. And maybe the things that you're letting go of is what's making space for this beautiful beginning, this garden, this abundance, this fruitful knowledge that has been showing up for you, okay? So Aquarius, just know that this energy can shift as long as you are open to change, okay? And I asked Spirit for a clarifying card of the Eight of Knives, and we got the Three of Coins. So Aquarius, don't overspend your money. Be mindful of how you might be emotionally spending your money. And also just remember to review whatever contracts and things that you are signing, okay? Don't just be signing things willy-nilly. Be very mindful of the things that you are agreeing to, okay? Last but not least, Aquarius, for your oracle cards, we have the full moon in Aries saying a fiery climax approaches, and we have the full moon Sagittarius saying look at the bigger picture. So Aquarius, you are being reminded by this element of fire that is showing up here in the oracle that there is a bigger story taking place. This minor little thing is not even a whole chapter in your book, honey. So don't even worry about that, okay? Your divine team has your back, okay? You don't have to spend all this ridiculous money on these rituals and all these tools and all these things and doing these complicated things to make something happen, okay? Just surrender and let them take care of it, okay? Keep watering what is watering you, which is the divine, your divine court, okay? The people that got your back, okay? It's your rituals, it's your gratitude rituals, it's your journaling, it's your meditation, it's taking care of yourself, it's feeding yourself good food that actually grew in a garden itself, okay? It's doing the small things and making them bigger, because nothing we do is done without intention, Aquarius, okay? Remember the bigger picture, remember the bigger plan at hand, okay? And know that there is so much growth and the best days are ahead of you. A fiery climax approaches. Something's about to pop off, honey. So don't even worry or fret a little too much. Aquarius, I feel like you're gonna feel a lot better, just like the Libras, once the sun enters Gemini, because then we have the sun ruled by an air sign, which can help alleviate that T-square we've got going on that you're probably feeling between the sun in Taurus, Mars in Leo, and soon to be, you know, the moon in Scorpio. We also actually have Juno in Scorpio, which is an asteroid, and we also have Vesta in Scorpio. Those two asteroids are in Scorpio, and they highlight our ideas of abundance, harvest, security, stability in the home, you know, in a very physical way. So you could be feeling a little insecure and really feeling tied up in these knots right now, Aquarius, but I promise you the energy is going to shift, okay? Just surrender. Remember the bigger picture, and trust and believe that, you know, things will shift, and they will, I promise you. Okay, Pisces, last but not least, Pisces, sun, moon, rising. Pisces, I've been pulling your cards, and I'm kind of looking at these cards like, child, what's going on with Pisces? So I'm asking Spirit for some clarifying cards, and these cards are not really great, but okay. Pisces, I feel like with Neptune now in Aries, you know, Saturn leaving Pisces and moving into Aries this month, there's a lot of harsh, maybe wake-up calls you are getting. Saturn in your sign has been that harsh wake-up call for sure, but Neptune, one of your planetary rulers, moving out of that sign and into the heat of Aries, has you now having to pick up the slack and move pretty quickly, and maybe has you a little overwhelmed and doing a little too many things all at once, which was not really what Spirit wanted you to do in the first place. Now, with that being said, Pisces, as much as you have learned a lot throughout this transit of Saturn in Pisces, it's almost like as though you're kind of being reminded some of those tough lessons, and you might even be worried that you're not necessarily going to pass them. But the truth is, Pisces, I feel like you have been so heavily affected as a collective, okay? Pisces, Sun, Moon, Risings, I'm talking to you right now, and stelliums. I feel like you have been so heavily affected by Saturn's transit in your sign that you are probably not likely to make the same mistake again. And just because something is currently coming up in your life that is showing the same symptoms of a really tough situation that happened during that transit doesn't mean it's going to end the same way, okay? So Pisces, let's talk about that. The first card we have for you is Gala Jack, the Hanged Man, which is actually a card that represents Pisces in the tarot. So it's actually very interesting. Spirit really wants you to kind of take a step back, okay? And don't do too much, okay? This is a month of stillness, a month of taking your time, getting your feet really grounded in the earth, okay? And maybe adjusting to this new temperature of Neptune in Aries, okay? We also have the 9 of Knives, which is really about overthinking, anxiety, insomnia even. Maybe our diet's not really too good, you know, we're not really eating great. When we are eating, it's a bunch of junk food, you know. Our bodies really just aren't performing at their best selves. Now, Pisces placements, I asked for a clarifying card with this nine of Knives and why you're feeling this way or what's going on. And we received the 5 of Sticks along with the big house, which is on fire, I believe, and is showing as the Tower card. So Pisces, there is something that you're either waiting for, that the ball is about to pop or drop, or something that comes up out of the blue, is what I'm thinking. And it really throws you off your game, really possibly even tackles you in a very emotional way, and has you having these eternal battles with self, which is now manifesting as this greater energy that is causing a lot of dis-ease. So Pisces, the last card we have for you from the tarot is showing as the 3 of Baskets. So it's really important this month that you allow your loved ones to really caress you, support you at this time, okay? And reach out to them too. They're not gonna know what you're going through if you don't let them know. So Pisces, it's really important that you also let your people know that you are hurting or going through it, and you do require their support at this time. Pisces, reach out to the people that care for you, okay? Because they do care about you. And that also includes your divine court, Pisces. Now, from the oracle side, we have the fixed moon saying hold your vision. So Pisces, despite these things that are going on and these huge emotional tides you are swimming through, that does not mean all is over. It does not mean that this whole thing is going to shake you to your core. It is a wake-up call. It is an opportunity for a new shift in perspective, okay? And right now, it's painful and it has you, you know, kind of in this like storm. But if you can ground yourself and take a step back as Spirit is asking you to do, then it won't be as bad and you'll actually be able to come up with a solution, okay? With that being said, we do have the New Moon and Taurus card saying prosperity lies ahead. So Pisces, if this energy is regarding to abundance and not having enough abundance and feeling like you're really in survival mode, living paycheck to paycheck and having these emotional outbursts, which then has you spending the money that you don't have, or things bouncing back, or whatever it may be, all these unnecessary fees that you're dealing with right now, taxes, you know, all these other things, just know that that stress and lack energy is going to be gone, okay? Prosperity is coming your way. So do your absolute best to pour into the things that pour into you, the people that pour into you. Maybe review your budgets and things to really be mindful of where you're spending your money, and cut back on things if you can so that you can have and create some more breathing room, okay? And know that also, Pisces, by detoxing and cleansing your home, doing a nice prosperity floor wash, okay, in your home, especially your baseboards, your windows, the floors themselves, everything, that will also clear out that lack energy and fear of not having enough, and will shift it so that you can then receive what you are meant to. Okay? Okay. Y'all, this was a very long video and I'm very happy that we finally got through it. With that being said, I wish you all a very happy May. We are going to have a upcoming book club meeting and some other things coming through. I have another video I'll be filming for you guys very soon about abundance, and this video will be released before we move into another season, so look out for that. But in the meantime, I want to say thank you for your ongoing support and your love, and I will talk to you guys soon. And yeah, happy May. Bye.